Hello, everyone. Kelly here from Private Label Australia. Hope that those of you who are in lockdown, it's treating you well, and anybody who's not, well, must be nice. Can I have a show of hands and let me know if you're listening, if you're watching, if you've got any questions whatsoever, please put them up in the comments. I'll be able to take a look at them in a little. Things have been happening on the insurance front, and we've been talking about that for quite a while. Amazon has been requiring insurance, and today I think the poop has hit the proverbial fan. So I'm going to unwrap what's been going on and what we should be doing. So the question is how to get insurance for your USA Amazon FBA business. If you are a private label seller, I'll cover a little bit about whether or not, if you're not a private label seller, what you should be doing. But predominantly, that's who needs more insurance, not less. Your business is based in Australia or in any other international country. It doesn't have to be Australia, so long as it's not the USA, because I mean it's quite easy for those located in the USA to get insurance for their USA business. We in Australia, on the other hand, do have a couple of extra challenges, so let's talk about those. And more than, or 5% or more than of your 5% or more of your revenue comes from the USA. So that is the tipping point after which it becomes difficult to get insurance from here in Australia into the USA if that's where you're selling. So what's instigated this video today? First of all, some of you received an email from Amazon today. Now, this is not the first email that you would have received. There have been emails after emails in the last month or so, whereby Amazon has been telling us that if you're making $10,000 or more in any 30-day time frame, $10,000 or more, then what that means is you must have and keep insurance, and you must upload it onto Amazon as well. Now, what's been happening is the 1st of September has come and gone. Some people have not uploaded their insurance. Those people are panicking. I've been getting phone calls all day. I've been getting messages. And I've been getting a couple of messages coming from insurance agencies as well, who were able to and cannot any longer help us in Australia with USA insurance. So I'll try and unpack some of that and tell you what it means for you. But the important thing is that since the 1st of September, you should have had insurance. If you didn't have insurance since the 1st of September, then you would have gotten this email. And this email has come to anybody who's been making $10,000 or more in any 30-month period. And if you haven't done so yet, they're giving you a further 30 days to get that insurance. So let's see how quickly you can get it and what you need in order to get it, because it takes a lot longer for people to try and research any insurance rather than anything else. I don't want you guys getting caught in the 30 days going past and then you still don't have it, and then there are going to be things like suspensions of accounts, etc. So one thing that Amazon has done, there's a bit of history coming back to this. Amazon has been required to make sure the products it sells are safe and that customers are covered. That is a requirement. It followed on from a legal process. It started with a court case a few months back. This is what Amazon usually reacts to. So Amazon reacts to anything that will cause them any kind of liability with the products that they're selling on their platform. So following on to that, what they've had to do is they've had to make the requirement. And another thing that they've done is they've actually made it easy for sellers to get insurance from the platform itself. And the way that they do that is through Amazon Insurance Accelerator. If you haven't seen it, you can go to the address, to the URL that you can see on your screen right now and check it out. Problem is that for us Australians, there doesn't seem to be any way in which we can upload our details unless we've got a USA address. And with some of these insurance companies that they are partnering with, it's becoming it's a lot more complicated to try and figure out whether an overseas company can be insured through their services. So it's you don't have time to play around with this, but if you're going to spend one day getting onto the site, looking at Amazon Insurance Accelerator, you may have to actually call the companies yourself to see if there's a different way for you to upload your details and whether or not they will insure you being from Australia. I'm fine with that, and please do come back to me with any results you might have. But what I've seen so far is if you're not in the USA, these companies will not insure you. At the same time, Amazon themselves have said that if you're in a different country other than the USA, then what you must do is go to a company in your own country to get insured, and these are the details that we require. So what has happened now? If we can't go onto Amazon Insurance Accelerator, can we go to an Australian company? Well, yes and no. So you can request a quote from an Australian company. I have, believe me, tried and gotten in contact with hundreds of companies through the years, and things have been changing, and they've changed. Just recently today, I got a phone call from one of my good friends at FSM Insurance. She called me up and she said to me, look, I got a couple of calls from your members, from the members of your group, and I'm not able to help them anymore. We can't get insurance for anybody who is selling on Amazon USA. Now, there are still some companies, and I don't know which ones they are, but I'm sure there will be at least 2 or 3 of the bigger companies, the bigger insurance companies here in Australia that will insure you. The requirement there is for your revenue to be coming from Australia predominantly or from anywhere else internationally, and only 5% or less of your revenue to be coming from the USA and Canada. They regard the USA and Canada as being high risk, so that is one of the big things that is stopping us from getting insurance from Australia. By all means, do get more quotes, but we don't have time for that. So I've pretty much simplified it by grabbing the one that I know that does work. So I'll go through all of that process with you. But by all means, if you're up for the challenge, go for it. Make a lot of phone calls, make some phone calls to these companies here, see if anybody from Amazon Insurance Accelerator will be able to help you. My results have been negative. See if anybody in Australia will be able to help you. If you've got any other kind of business in Australia, and you've got other types of insurance, and you've got a very, very small percentage of your sales coming from Amazon USA, you should not be looking at any of these. You should just be adding a clause to your existing insurance. I mean, I know that through the years, I've had rental properties that for my warehouse. I've had other things that I've had to insure around my business, whether it's sales from Australia, sales from other countries, professional liability insurance, a whole load of other things. Then you do want to be going to your agent and getting them to create a bespoke policy for you. But if you are like most of us in this group and you are selling predominantly in the USA and Canada, that's not going to be much of an option for you. So with Australian insurance companies, they will either not insure you at all, or what they will charge is very high premiums if more than 5% of your revenue comes from sales in the USA and Canada. Quite frankly, I haven't found one that will insure you for more than 5% of those sales. With USA insurance companies, we've also got other issues where they won't insure us, and there's a lot of reasons why a US insurance company won't insure you, and that's number one, because you don't have a business registered in the USA, number two, because you don't have a USA mailing address, and number three, because you don't have an EIN. And all of those things are things that you can deal with. They are easy as to resolve. You don't need to have a business registered in the USA. You do not need to have an LLC. Getting insurance should never be a reason why an Australian company changes their entity from a proprietary limited to an LLC. That is not the reason why you would do that. There are plenty of reasons for a big company or a company that is making most of their income in the USA to switch to an LLC, but this is not one of them. The main source of your information for a change or a switch like that should be your accountant, and it should only be your accountant that advises you to do that, not because you need insurance. Do not change your entity to a USA entity just because you need insurance. We'll go through the steps of how to get insurance, and if your Amazon business is predominantly in the USA, you will need to get this insurance and this insurance only, which is your USA, the USA part of your insurance. If, however, you've got more parts to your business and perhaps they are more or less than 5%, you may need additional insurance policies here in Australia. That's a different issue for a different day. The mailing address issue. So if you don't have a USA entity, if you don't have an LLC, you can keep on selling on Amazon with your proprietary limited Australian entity. And that is what you should do unless your accountant actually advises you against that. But you will need a mailing address in the USA that you will be able to use for receiving correspondence from your US insurance company. Now, in the past, we've been able to use our 3PLs. In the past, we've been able to use different companies that consolidate shipments and returns and all that kind of stuff. Now we need a specific type of mailing address, and I'll explain what that means for you. But essentially, the company that I have found that A, has been working recently, B, can do all of that stuff, including consolidating your returns. You can use the US mailing address from them to get products back from Amazon, for instance, or you can purchase things from Amazon, get them forwarded on to Australia, etc., etc. But they will also receive and send you your correspondence, any kind of mail that you get through the the USPS system, so the United States Postal Service. So the one that I have found does actually work now, because we have gone through a few. We tried Firebox. There was some issues with their with their website recently. We've used our 3PLs. There were some issues with them being able to receive mail on our behalf. There are other companies like My US. They are not able to receive mail on your behalf. So there are special requirements for those who are able to receive mail on your behalf and forward it on to you. You do need that mailing address where somebody is going to be able to receive that mail and forward it on to you. So the one that I found that actually works is, okay, I've been corrected today. It's not apparently Shipito. It is Ship It To or something to that effect. It's SHIPITO. You can go to privatelabelaustralia.com.au/ship it to, ship it to, ship it something. You can go there and you can sign up for free on their site. Now, what you will need to do in order for them to be able to forward your mail to you, and in other words, you will be able to use that mailing address as a mailing address for the purposes of using it in your insurance policy, is you absolutely need to send them a form 1583, which I've gotten in contact with them, and although they say that they needed to be notarized, I have been told that actually it wasn't me, it was Kaylee. I've been told that they will allow us to use a justice of the peace signature, so you're able to fill out that form, go to a justice of the peace, sign in their presence, get them to sign that and forward that on to the company, and they will then be able to receive your mail on your behalf. And of course, since they are able to do that, then you grab the address from your account and you put that in to your application for an insurance policy as a mailing address, so that you can ask for that quote. All right, so the next thing that you're going to be asked for is an EIN. An EIN is what's called an employer identification number in the USA. It comes from the IRS. However, this same EIN is we are able to issue it for Australian businesses in Australia, or proprietary limited businesses, for a couple of different purposes relevant to us. So it's an identifier, a tax identifier that we are able to get issued under our business name. And don't worry about the about trying to figure out the links. I've put links up above, down below, depending on where you're watching me today. You'll be able to copy and paste or click on the links in the description. Start putting your questions in the chat, because I'm going to circle back and answer as many questions as I can on this, because I know that you're going to have a lot of questions. So what you need is this free EIN. And a lot of the questions that I get about EINs have got to do with, whoa, it's an IRS number. Whoa, does that mean that I have to pay USA taxes? Whoa, I thought I didn't need to sign up to the IRS. Well, no, you do need an EIN, and an EIN is issued for a couple of very important reasons, and I'm sure that there are more of those reasons as you keep on working on your business. But the two important ones are, number one, you need it to be identified at customs as the importer of record for your products into the USA. You need to use that EIN in all of your shipments so that you're identified as the importer of record. Number two, very, very important. If you're going to get insurance in the USA, and you do need insurance in the USA, that's the only identifier that the insurance company is able to use in order to issue you even a quote. You can't get a quote without one. So it's a 5-minute process. Again, I've got a link up or down somewhere, and it takes about 5 minutes to get it. It doesn't make you liable for taxes in the USA. You could be liable for taxes in the USA for other reasons. There are a whole load of different types of taxes that, as Amazon sellers, we are liable for, and some are taxes that we have to pay, and some are taxes that Amazon pays, and some of them, in the case of income or business taxes in the USA, we normally don't if we've got a proprietary limited. You still need to lodge a return, and it's called Form 1120F. And there's another associated form, 8833. Those two forms are the forms that your accountant should use to advise the IRS that you're claiming the double taxation agreement. What that essentially means is that Australia and the USA have got an agreement between them where, in general terms, and this is hashtag not tax advice, but in general terms, for most of us, what that would mean is that we're not liable to be taxed twice, once in Australia and once in the USA. We only get taxed once. So if we're taxed in Australia, we don't need to get taxed again in the USA. However, this EIN is not what is going to make us liable for those taxes. We are liable for those taxes because we've got a proprietary limited that is selling into the USA. All right, let's go from there. Get an insurance quote. Now, I've spoken about my good friend Ashlyn Haddon. If most of your business is in the USA, you probably won't have many options. Hers is a business that pretty much deals with Amazon sellers all the time. She has been amazing in the group to be able to help us Australians get insurance through her insurers. What you do want to do when you're requesting a quote from her is, number one, go to the legal entity page under your account settings and take a screenshot of the details there in regards to your address and the name of your legal entity. She will need to copy those details, the Australian details, your address there, onto your insurance policy. Number two, when you're actually going through the process of requesting a quote, the only kind of address that you'll be able to put in her site is a US address. You must use your US mailing address from Shipito if you don't have another one. If you've got something else lined up, then by all means use that. There's going to be a note section where you do want to tell her that, yes, the address that I've put in is my US mailing address, but here are the details of my Australian address. Here are the details of my Australian company, etc., because she will need to issue the policy under the details that are in the back end of your Seller Central. Now, an additional thing, so you'll be using your USA address and your EIN from the IRS to fill out that information to get a quote. But in addition to that, you need to make sure that you're requesting the right types of insurance. Now, what types of insurance are those? General liability and product liability for private label sellers. General liability only for those who are not selling private label, for those who are wholesaling other people's brands. that's pretty much it. I'm sure there's other types of insurance policies or other types of things that you need to be insured in, depending on what your business is. But these are the two main ones that you need. And the one that Amazon requires is only the general liability one. So even if for whatever reason you can't get product liability, please, make sure that you do have that, because it's very, very important. But even if you can't, at least get general liability for now so that your account doesn't get suspended. Now, let's go on to, so let me stop that share. Let's go on to the questions here. Now, one thing that I would have liked is for you guys to be able to show your names. Thank you very much, whoever you are, Facebook user. There's a link from StreamYard up above, down below, where you can actually give them permission to show your name within groups. I haven't received any email for insurance, this Facebook user says. Mind telling me who you are? That'll be great. But essentially, this is probably a question for quite a few of you. If you have not received an email for insurance, this does not mean that you don't need insurance. What this means is that Amazon is not going to make you upload your insurance policy for now. It essentially means that you haven't hit the $10,000 mark within any 30-day period. Please do check to see whether it's gone in your spam or anywhere else. But if not, then that's what it would assume, that you haven't made $10,000 or more in one 30-day period. In which case, there is no requirement from Amazon for you to have insurance. But okay, well, I don't drive more than 5 kilometers at the moment anywhere. Does that mean that I don't need car insurance? So I'm not going to advise you to get insurance or not get insurance. I am going to advise you to weigh up your own risks. There are people out there that are driving without car insurance. That doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do, and it doesn't mean that you're not in trouble if you do get into an accident. So essentially, if Amazon isn't requiring you to get insurance, that doesn't mean that you don't need it. It just means that your account will not get suspended if you don't upload it onto your account. Okay. Now, what are the options for a seller who is registered on individual name in US? So you're talking about, so there's two parts to this. Do you mean that you have an individual Amazon account? It won't make any difference except for your fees. Your fees will be higher, so your Amazon fees will be higher, so it's got nothing to do with insurance. If you mean you're registered as a sole trader, then again, it makes no difference whatsoever. If you're making $10,000 or more, regardless of whether you're a sole trader or whether you're a proprietary limited, you are still required to upload your insurance documents. Now, whether or not you should be registered as a sole trader, that's a question for you to ask your accountant, because in most cases you would want to at least be ready to transition to another entity that would protect your business more. And again, I don't know who that is, so if you'd like to just put your name down, that'll be awesome. Sonia, yes, Sonia. Sonia, you were one of the people that actually called Ann Taylor today. Ann Taylor from FSM gave me a call. She essentially told me that she can no longer insure any of us, regardless of the amount of our business that is in the USA. If we're sending product into Amazon FBA, she cannot insure us anymore. And it's basically because things have gone tougher when it comes to how insurance works here in Australia. There are some companies here in Australia that still do insure companies that are selling overseas, and especially in the US and Canada is essentially the problem. That's the bigger problem. Other countries, nobody really cares about and does not mention them in their insurance policies. So let me see what you're asking. What's the best route to go if only selling in US for now, but intend to expand in the future to other markets? Sonia, I'm probably the worst person to answer this question, and I'll tell you why. My business has been changing through the years lots, and sometimes the bulk of my revenue comes from e-commerce in the USA, and sometimes the bulk of my revenue comes from services in Australia, and sometimes I have projects going all the time, and different parts of my business do different things. I have been constantly underinsured for the last 10 years. Never uninsured, but always underinsured. So I'm probably the worst person to ask this. But essentially, right now in the USA, you probably have no options. Ashlyn Haddon is probably the only person that can insure you. Now, caveat, I do know that a lot of people that are selling high-risk products will get a negative answer from Ashlyn, and it just depends on the product, etc. But in most cases, Ashlyn can insure us. Ashlyn can insure us whether we are in Australia, whether we are selling into the USA. And Ashlyn is pretty much the person that understands Amazon better than anybody else when it comes to that, to the type of businesses we've got. So you've probably got no choice. And on top of that, I've got to promise you that I have had quotes, and I've had other people in my group, in my clientele list, ask for quotes in a whole load of different circumstances. And when it comes to the bulk of your business being in the USA, you absolutely can't go past her prices. I know that there are other companies that are selling insurance policies within the group, outside the group, everywhere else. You can't go past her prices. Any quote that I've ever gotten up to today, and I'll be happy to be proven wrong, but any quote that I've ever had has been the cheapest. And I do know that it can be very expensive for some of you that didn't take insurance into consideration when you started selling, and it sounds like a lot of money when you hear amounts to the effect of $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $8,000. But I can pretty much guarantee you that you'll spend a lot more money if you go to an Australian one. Let me and then you can change after that. So that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to update or add or subtract insurance policies. So later on is later on. Right now is when you need to be insured, Sonia. You need your insurance policy. In case of a proprietary account, how do I get insurance? You're talking about being a sole trader. Absolutely, same way, same as everybody else. You need to have your EIN, you need to have your US address to get USA insurance for your FBA business in the USA, unless the USA part of your business is minute, unless you're doing FBM from Australia, unless most of your business is in Australia. In that case, please do get more quotes from Australian insurers. But if the bulk of your business is in the USA and you're selling on Amazon US predominantly, then that's where you need to get insurance in the USA. Sonia Ann was delightful. Been in touch with Ashlyn too. This is immensely helpful. You're very, very welcome, Sonia. I wish I could give you guys more options. I've still got, if anybody's a member of Branding by Intent, please go into your back end at brandingbyintent.com, sign into your account, go into your back end, and there are plenty of other lists of insurers. I can pretty much guarantee you that most of those lists have become obsolete now. It's essentially, for us in Australia, it's pretty much just Ashland, or if you've got more business elsewhere here, etc., then you look at an agent, etc. If those two things don't help you, then you better start cracking and start finding somebody somewhere that will insure you, because it's a very, very, very hard process. I'll stick around for another couple of minutes. I don't know if there was anything else that I missed in all of this, but please do ask any questions if you have them. Look, it essentially means that my best advice today is get a USA mailing address, get an EIN. If you don't have those two things, you're not running a USA business. Speak to Ashland Haddon and get your insurance from her. Do you have a link for Australian insurance provider? I have been giving people FSM insurance and Taylor. However, like I said, she gave me a phone call today. She will not be able to insure people who are predominantly selling in the USA, Auntie. I'm happy to add Anne's details if you're predominantly selling in Australia, but if you're predominantly selling in the USA, she won't be able to help you. Okay, I think I pretty much unpacked everything. If there's anything else that you'd like to have clarified, by all means, keep on asking questions in the comments. I'll come by and I'll answer as many of them as possible. Other than that, I'll see you in the group soon. Bye.